Welcome to the SI Farmer podcast where we talk farming, marketing, business tactics, life advice, and today's no different. You know, the other day I was given a piece of advice. Let me tell you. The other day I was thinking about a piece of advice I had been given many years ago. My boss gave it to me, and it was in the context that he gave it. It was good advice, but in the long run, it was bad advice. Let's get into it.
I have a love-hate relationship with marketing. Really? I've got to do what? All I want to do is farm.
Welcome to the SI Farmer podcast. If you want to market your farm, farm-based business, or craft food business directly to the consumer, this is the place for you. Welcome to the show.
So, like I was saying in the beginning, I got given this advice years ago by a guy who was my boss at the time. And in this advice was pretty simple. We were at the time, and I'll give you the context so you understand. At the time, we were meeting with companies, and we would go into what was like a boardroom, huge conference table, and there would be all these people sitting around, and he and I would go in and talk with them about their marketing. And his advice to me was, walk in, you're looking at the people. You have to start figuring out who the boss is. And you look at the things like their watch, their ties, their shoes, and you make these judgments knowing that, the guy wearing the most expensive watch in the room is most likely the boss. And this guy that I worked for, he took it one step further. Those are the people that he wanted to be around because he was enamored with that money, the things. And I always felt uncomfortable because I don't care much about money. That sounds horrible to say in a podcast where we're talking about marketing your business and making more money. I don't care about money. Really don't. I wish I probably should more than I do, but don't. Money's a tool. I like to have enough to do the things I want to do, but I don't really care about it that much. So, if you come up with a $10,000 watch on your arm, I'm not going to know the difference because I don't care. It's not going to impress me. It doesn't change. Now you come up with me and you say, hey, how you doing? What can I do to help you? Man, now all of a sudden I'm like, yeah, I'm John. That judgment of people based on things happens far too much in today's world. And I see, oh my gosh, I see it all the time. I see people, heck, I see it in the farming community too. Oh man, look at that. He's driving an 8 Series R, and you're like, wow, man, that's cool. Now, granted, don't get me wrong, the 8 Series is a cool tractor. I can't afford one. Not for my farm. But you see people looking at the things instead of the works. And I think in marketing, that's the same. I think people look too much at the stuff and not the stuff. See if that makes any sense to you, right? There's somebody walks up to you and they're wearing, $400 pair of jeans, if there is such a thing. A Rolex watch, $200, Italian shirt, I don't know. They walk up to you. Do you care? Does it impress you? Or are you more impressed with the content of their character? Because the content of their character is who we want to do business with. Good people, good, right? When we market to people, marketing our farms, we generally have the vast majority of the farmers. And when I say the vast, I mean the overwhelming majority of the farmers that I have met. Good folks. Good folks. The people you want to be friends with. Of course, there's some clunkers out there. Don't get me wrong. But we have, in marketing a business like ours, like yours, You have this ability to be real and make real connections. Now, when we go about this is where, we talk about how do we take this advice of, wanting to connect with people and wanting to build real relations and turn this into marketing. Well, be real. I see a lot of people when they, you get your picture taken, you dress up. Well, okay, that's cool. When you market yourself, be real, be you. Now, be the best version of you can. I'm not telling you show up in your hydraulic fluid covered t-shirt for a photo shoot on your business. But if you don't wear a suit and tie in your daily life and in your daily work, maybe don't wear a suit and tie in your ad, because that's not you. You're promoting something that's not, But I want to take this in a different direction today, because I think we have gotten, as a society here lately, I mean, it's been forever, right? For years. We are told through marketing, through television ads, by brands, that things matter because they want us to buy things, right? Things don't matter. They don't. It's just stuff. When you go to sell something, have to do the thing, great, but the value it provides is more important, in my opinion. And when we sell this way, when we market our businesses this way, we build real connections with people. And we've talked about it. I know I've talked about it on here before. Branding is, here's a great example. Years ago, I may have even mentioned this before. There was a brand that was trying to measure, back at the very early days of the internet, they were trying to measure how long somebody had spent on their website. Young guy there, they now call it, we now measure this as called time on site. It's a TOS score. So how long do people stay on your site? And they equated it to building a brand. Building a brand is like building a friendship. You have to spend time. So when you're on when you're on a company's website, that's time. The difference that I see in marketing a small business and a small farm versus the way that the large companies do it, and we have, as small business, as small farms, we have a distinct and decided advantage. We have the disadvantage of not having billions of dollars to throw at this, but we also have an advantage. Pick a brand. Doesn't matter. Any brand you want. Apple. Pick a car brand, Chevy, Ford. People identify with brands because the brands carefully cultivate that relationship. They want you to feel a connection to their brand. That connection, when you talk about the connection inside of a person, that it builds an emotional loyalty. Apple, they're not a person. They're not. There's a bunch of people that work at Apple, and there's a guy who's the head of Apple. But Apple is an entity. Doesn't have a soul. Doesn't have anything to be connected with. So you build, these companies spend billions of dollars trying to emotionally connect with you. How many guys did you know that are car guys? Man, they build a connection. There's a connection. I mean, there are Ford guys and Chevy guys, and man, don't pull up in a Ford. Don't pull up with a Ford. They're going to make fun of you. Or don't pull up in a Chevy. They're going to make fun of you. Ford and Chevy spent a lot of money building that relationship. Ford and Chevy's not a person. Now, Mr. Ford was a person back, when was around 100 years ago? Ford Motor Company now is an entity. It's a number on the stock exchange. Now, it represents real people doing real work. I get that. But as a small business, we have this advantage of having somebody to connect with. You can build relationships because it's not a number on a stock ticker. We're real people. And you can build connections. Real people can build connections with real people easier than brands can build connections. And when we started this, talking about men's accessories, you judge people based on, or I say you, you look at somebody in that context that I was talking about earlier with my former boss, saying you go in and you judge people on who's the boss, who's wearing the expensive watch, who's wearing the tailored suit, the expensive Italian shoes. That's great. I mean, it helped in that situation. I understood why he did it. In the life situation, those aren't the kind of people I want to be associated with. I want to judge you on the content of your character. When I have to, or assess, I like the judge word, but when you judge a business, when you assess a business, assess them on the people. Are you true to your word? Are you the guy, are you a person you want to know? In that business, you have the advantage of building a relationship with people by treating them fairly. People are understanding, for the most part, when you have to make a business decision. But you can go out of your way to make that decision in such a way that it has positive benefits for both. That's how you that's building relationships. Now, when you accentuate that with what we talk about in our community and we talk about in our courses and we talk about on this podcast, and we talk about when you take that core piece of building a relationship and you connecting with people, and it doesn't have to be you personally, but your business connecting with people, and you are the spotlight for your business, then you add things like well-done logos and branding, consistent branding, and all of these things. Now you're building real connections and you're using the same tools that the big brands are using. You have an advantage. When you look at the relationship, the value of the relationship, man, small business has a real decided advantage because we can take our brand and all of the same tools. It is now so accessible for anybody. You can create a brand just as easily as Apple. Now, you have to have something to back it up. Apple, we'll use them because they're a popular brand. They back it up with solid products. Now, what does Apple have to do with, now they try to connect you with, a feeling. That's where we step in as small businesses and have the advantages. We're connecting you with real people. I mean, there's a real person here doing, trying to help you solve a problem. That's where small business, small farms, we can come out now and we can brand just as we have the technologies there for us to brand just as effectively. We have the tools. They're very inexpensive. We have all of the technology. All of the pieces are there for us to brand ourselves the same way that the big boys do. But we have this added special ingredient that's you. And you can connect with people the way a business can't. For example, try calling Mr. Apple. Mr. Apple doesn't exist. Now, there's a boss of Apple. I think his name's Tim. And you might be able to reach Tim. But Tim is a representative of this entity because this entity is a number or a series of letters on the stock exchange. Hard to build. That's why they have to spend billions of dollars on this. They want to build that loyalty. Chevy, Ford, billions of dollars on branding themselves, because branding is that building of connection. It's building a relationship. When you build relationships with people, we want people to want to do business with us. So we build a relationship. Hey, that's branding. Same thing, but we have the added advantage of being real people, trying to help other real people solve real problems, whether that's providing a better quality food, whether that's helping them feel like they are morally, ethically and morally supporting local business, whether that is them, feeding their families better, whatever that is, we're trying to help them. We can help them identify that solution with us through branding. And at the end of the day, they can pick up the phone and talk to a real person who is a real, that this is, it's real. It's not a, oh man, I want to call Mr. Apple. Let's call 1-800. It's not the same. And so that's why it costs these companies so much more to build brands and build those connections. Yeti coolers. I mean, there's another one where they want you to identify rugged. They want you to identify, they did a whole piece on Luke Branquino, who's a steer wrestler. He's a cool guy. They want you to identify their products with this person. Well, if I call, if I pick up the phone and call Luke Branquino, he's not going to tell me anything about Yeti coolers except to go down to the store and buy one. The company isn't something we identify with. We identify with that what they're trying to accomplish. Now, that's a useful tool, but as real people, we have an advantage to identify and connect with people on a real level. We go back to this, the whole judging people and assessing people. I'll tell you this. I like people, love to talk to people. And when you walk up to me, I don't care what watch you're wearing. I don't care what kind of car you drive. I like cars and trucks, so I might, if you drive something cool, I might, hey, that's a cool truck. But I don't care. One of the most successful men I know, I think he drives, I've never seen him drive the same truck for more than a month or two, and they're usually 20 or 30 years old. I don't care what kind of car you drive. I don't care what kind of truck you drive. I don't care what kind of watch you wear. What I do care about is the content of your character. And when we talk about that in marketing, we have this advantage over almost every other major company, is we have the ability to connect with people in a real, meaningful way, solve real and important problems for that person, and build a connection at a level and a depth that a major brand will never be able to do. Can't be done. They can't do it. There are meetings every day talking about how can we respond to people faster? How can we have more personal engagement? And they write software that will allow you to, go to their website. They can tell it's you and say, "Hi, John," or "Hi, Mary," or whoever you are when you go, or when they send you an email. They have they've had this for 50 years, but they have a code that they write that says, "Hi, insert first name." Well, as people, we don't, always see that, but they're trying to personalize that. And as a small business, we have the ability to connect on a real basis, which a brand, that is the goal, the mecca of where brands want to be, on that personalization, and they want to have a connection with you, but they can't, because you can't connect with an entity. You connect with people. And so take this advice for what it's worth. And when you go to market your company, be real, be you, connect with real people, use the tools, check out SI Farmer. We talk about building the tools that put you on the same playing field from a creative and a branding standpoint as these other brands, but use the tools that you have that give you an advantage. And be real. It's the advantage is be you. People will gravitate to people much faster than they will gravitate to brands. You show somebody respect, you show them that you have their interest at heart, and you will build loyal customers. You will build a loyal following. And at the end, you get to do my favorite thing, which is, man, I end every day with a clear conscience, knowing that I did the best I could for that day. What more could you ask for? And with that, have a blessed day. Go out, be you, but be the best you can be. Good luck, and God bless.